Did Mondelez International swallow a grenade 3.5 years ago, or has its most significant UK investment since the hostile takeover of Cadbury seen explosively positive results? So I'll provide the needed insights to decode that introductory question a bit later in this content, but let's first kind of transport back in time to the summer of 2019 because in an extremely short stretch of time, three of the most buzzworthy convenient nutrition bar brands were acquired. Being a protein bar company in the summer of 2019 was arguably one of the most valuable things you could be in the growing functional food space. And Mondelez got the party started by announcing it was purchasing a majority stake in the refrigerated protein bar brand Perfect Bar in June 2019. Then, 2 months later, the Simply Good Foods company acquired Quest Nutrition for $1 billion, dollars, and the Hershey company acquired One Brands, the maker of One Bar, for $397 million. dollars. Yet, the world was about to drastically change, and just as suddenly, the value propositions of protein bars would no longer make them the fun person at the convenient nutrition party. With the bar format of convenient nutrition being strongly tied to consumer mobility, the Great Shutdown in March and April of 2020 caused a sharp decline in consumption. And the categorical struggles continued into the next year as restrictive living situations and work from home adjustments became normal, along with the fact that most health and fitness and weight management goals weren't prioritized by a lot of Americans during that period. But during that time, many of us industry analysts or strategists looked past the near term categorical struggles and pointed to the fact that underlying drivers feeding long term secular trends were unchanged, and the inevitable reorientation of consumer behaviors would continue to support convenient nutrition bar format growth. And it seems that Mondelez International was also aligned with that categorical base case because in March 2021, they acquired a majority stake in Grenade, a UK based sports nutrition brand that was best known for its protein bar, Carb Killa, that reportedly valued it at $277 million. dollars. Though, before I talk further about the deal, some basic details on Grenade are likely valuable for my predominantly US based audience. In 1999, Alan Barrett started Fusion Supplements, a distribution and sales operation that would import sports nutrition products from the United States. After a decade of building that business, he sold it to a friend and started Grenade in 2010 with the simple goal of creating an iconic weight loss supplement and becoming a top UK sports nutrition brand. In fact, the brand name comes from product testing feedback on its fat burner being described as explosive like a grenade. The first time I'd come across Grenade was in 2011 when I was at an international trade show while at Muscle Farm and saw their booth that was just kind of like products stacked on top of a real military tank. But over the years, Grenade broadened its product portfolio and became more of a protein platform, which included the Carb Killa high protein, low sugar bars that quickly became one of the UK's market leaders, reaching 13% share at the time of the M&A announcement. This product strategy decision also helped widen the pool of interested consumers and investment companies. Grenade did 2 separate private equity deals before it was approached by 2 major confectionery companies, one of which was Mondelez International. Now, whether this impacted the decision or not, legend has it that Alan Barrett would find out-of-date candy in Cadbury's heavy goods vehicles that his dad would fix and almost got expelled for selling it to kids at school. It's much more likely that Grenade chose Mondelez International because of its almost limitless resources and capabilities, but that is an epically authentic reason to sell to a company that owns Cadbury. Furthermore, the current senior leadership, including Alan Barrett, continue to run the business separately from Mondelez to nurture its entrepreneurial spirit and maintain the authenticity of the brand while providing resources, support, and international scale to help accelerate growth. But let's turn our attention back to the strategic reasoning behind the deal. In the press release, Mondelez CEO stated that this is another exciting opportunity to deliver on our strategy to be a global leader in broader snacking, including in the important area of well-being. Now, I didn't have any problem with Mondelez doubling down on the nutrition and protein bar segment, as I've been this kind of broken record over many years stating that consumers are moving closer towards this like four-way intersection of taste, convenience, nutrition, and functionality. My issue is more around the valuation paid by Mondelez, considering just how different the marketplace was in March of 2021 compared to the summer of 2019. If we look at those two major deals from August 2019, Hershey acquired One Brands for just shy of 4 times next year's revenue, and Simply Good Foods paid about the same revenue multiple for Quest Nutrition. In terms of EBITDA multiples, we only have the details on the latter deal, which Simply Good Foods paid 14.3 times for Quest Nutrition. And this is no disrespect to Grenade, but Quest was and is still today a much stronger brand and product in a much more attractive geographical market. Yet, Mondelez paid a similar revenue multiple, but a 40x multiple on Grenade's profits. My only guess to reconcile this in my head was that the investment bankers involved had access to the Hershey multiple paid on the One Brand's EBITDA and made the deals somewhat comparable. Regardless, even as the bar format of convenient nutrition continued to bounce back slower than consensus expectations, partly caused by the price inflation driven volume loss, Mondelez tripled down on its strategy to reshape its snacking portfolio by announcing it would acquire CLIF Bar for $2.9 billion in June of 2022. Along with the namesake nutritional energy bar, CLIF also owned the popular bar brand Luna. But now with 4 sizable and complementary brands, Mondelez quickly became a leader within the resilient and again attractive convenient nutrition bar category. That attractiveness is especially true considering most standard store grocery merchandising, which comprises most of the revenue at large CPG brand portfolios like Mondelez, is currently experiencing flat or slightly negative volume growth and net sales numbers. In fact, Mondelez International year-to-date results showed volumes down just over 2% and reported net sales at slightly below flat. But that's in large contrast to the convenient nutrition bar category that's trending in the high single-digit growth rate in 2024 after posting mid-single-digit growth rates the previous year. Which maybe brings us full circle to the introductory question around if Mondelez swallowed a grenade 3.5 years ago, or has there been explosively positive results? Like most things in life, the expected answer is usually somewhere in the middle, right? And I want to say right, but objectively, their grenade investment hasn't been a great return on investment yet. But much of that has to do, again, with, in my opinion, the poor valuation paid. But in terms of operational performance, Grenade has done a relatively excellent job against the still weak categorical backdrop of 2021 and 2022. From its Companies House filing with the UK government, we can see that in 2021, the year of the acquisition, Grenade generated net sales amounting to around $70 million, which was up around 13% year over year. The next year, Grenade grew net sales by about 9% year over year. But in 2023, and this is where the yet comes in from my previous statement, Grenade had an outstanding year, growing its net sales 56.5% year over year to around $120 million. So what happened? Well, UK sports nutrition industry expert Nick Morgan and I actually highlighted a Grenade product strategy within a April 2023 content piece.
It's interesting globally for consumers to be able to, have a product or a flavor innovation that they're relating to some nostalgic point, and now they're able to have it in a better for you or a healthier snack. It's attractive overall, especially if you can hit on it perfectly. And it seems like Grenade has done extremely well with that Oreo launch.
Yeah. I mean, it's a beautiful match. So Grenade, to all intents and purposes, really for over here. I mean, some might argue otherwise, but broadly made the first protein bar that people decided was what they really enjoyed eating. Let's just say it broke through a precipice of interest around protein bars, definitely. And they then drove, and then the various line capital, and then the investments along the way have really helped them grow that. And to all intents and purposes, I would see them as a healthy snacking or just a high protein bar brand, really. The purchase of Mondelez, or the acquisition by Mondelez, it was almost a matter of time to why would you not collab that? Why would you not? I mean, it just makes no sense not to. Interestingly, in the broader picture of protein bars, which I think I'm very interested in anyway, in terms of from a data point of view, I don't think there's any doubt that you would position trends related to trying to make more of a confectionery classics, let's say. Bars are becoming a little bit smaller. There's a little bit less protein per bar, although ironically the grade is still 20 grams. There's a lot more going down to 15. Yeah. There's a lot more layering, innovation with all the ingredient suppliers around taste, texture, layering, interest, and it's all really to create a protein, a chocolate bar high in protein, and it's a subtle shift between the difference between saying this is a protein bar and this is a chocolate bar high in protein. That this healthy confectionery is just where protein bars can truly penetrate into a much bigger world, and I think actually with the Oreo collab, I think it's almost like Grenade are re-scratching a surface to where that can go in terms of protein bars, particularly as I truly believe there's so much more innovation and work to be done to make protein bars taste even better, softer across shelf life. And so I think that collab is absolutely class. It's just class. And more of those, please. I can't imagine that we're not going to see Ferrero do the same with Fulfill.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine we won't see 2 or 3 others. It's a no-brainer. So I think the collabs as well have so much space to go as well. And this is a great example. So a long-winded answer to say, it's just the start, Josh, just the start.
Yeah, no, I totally co-sign what you're saying, and both from the every dairy supplier is trying to solve these problems, and they obviously are continuing to come out with innovations and kind of improve their protein technologies for the bar format, because they know that is going to really drive forward the next phase of this category as a whole. And then secondly, I'm kind of pulling for the Grenade and Oreo collab to work out extremely well, because for the last, I don't know how many years at this point, probably 3 or 4 years, I've been asking why is somebody like Hershey's that bought one bar over in America, like why are they not using some of their massively successful IP, Hershey's, Reese's, whatever it is, like to create bars in some way, because that could, in my mind, I think double or triple that business. But for whatever reason, maybe they needed somebody else to show them the way and say, hey, you could trust this move. It's going to work out successfully. And now, hopefully that's kind of their business case, that somebody can bring it in that room and say, let's do it. Let's finally get this going.
After 18 months of development work, combining the best taste and nutrition elements from the #1 cookie brand in the world and UK's favorite high-protein, low-sugar protein bar, the Grenade Oreo protein bar was born and began selling in January of 2023. While there's no mention by name within the Grenade 2023 annual report about the co-created protein bar, leadership did note product innovation as a major reason for the sharp growth in year-over-year net sales. And this cross-pollination licensing strategy was something I brought up in a February 2022 content piece as flavor licensing became hot within the US convenient nutrition market. My logic was that many big CPG portfolios now own convenient nutrition brands that they could enhance within the marketplace through saving, or kind of like guarding, their most valuable food and beverage flavor IP for cross-pollination licensing opportunities. That being said, despite citing numerous other cross-pollination licensing ideas from big CPG portfolios like PepsiCo, Kellogg's Company, and the Hershey Company, the strategy didn't progress for another almost 3 years. Though I'd argue a lot of that had to do with big CPG deprioritizing many smaller categories like convenient nutrition, as other larger segments of their business were printing money from the huge spikes in demand, causing a lack of available resources and strategic mindshare. But after Mondelez and Grenade built off the Oreo UK retail sales success with another flavor variant later in 2023, we recently saw Hershey's finally cross-pollinate its one bar with both Reese's and Hershey's cookies and cream. I'm still holding out hope for the Pepsi float flavor of muscle milk, but I'm now confidently marking down this trend prediction around cross-pollination licensing as correct. Okay, now that my very brief victory lap is over, let's shift this content into analyzing a few different variables that could play an outsized role in the Grenade outlook. And I'm going to start wide by mentioning 2 very important underlying drivers supporting this long-term secular categorical trend. which would be the overall desire for snacking convenience, and then the health and wellness spending shift that's over indexed on younger consumers. A recent report showed that half of consumers say they often eat snacks instead of a meal because they're on the go, with 68% of 25 to 34-year-old consumers having 3 or more snacks per day. Moreover, what's so appealing about these functional foods is that they promise a time efficient form of nutritional insurance that's less expensive than fresh groceries that seem to yield higher waste within busy schedules. Consumers' health priorities and goals are oftentimes weighed against financial constraints and general fatigue. So, the value of convenience of snacks and bars over meals resonates with a wide audience. Now, I'm not saying that swap is great for overall nutrition trends, but consider the convenient alternatives that plague our society today. Additionally, performance nutrition and higher protein, lower sugar dietary choices are becoming mainstream and could be further supported within the current age of Ozempic period that are using protein bars, shakes, and supplements to bridge the nutritional gap and associated side effects that may arise from reduced food intake on weight loss pharmaceuticals. Because of that, despite Grenade currently being a rounding error revenue impact to Mondelez, I'd assume Mondelez CEO Dirk has keenly recognized the under the radar long term potential in Grenade. Yes, building a broader portfolio to stretch across snacking and particularly move into high growth well being segments has been a Mondelez strategic focus recently. But Grenade could really help the portfolio get repositioned on the right side of the GLP-1 second order effects by leaning into the protein platform potential globally. These weight conscious consumers are looking to incorporate products in their routine that will satisfy their hunger, but at the same time also be relatable, indulgent like taste profiles that can support their evolving health and wellness goals. So, with likely continued support by Mondelez, I'd expect more resources allocated to geographic expansion. Grenade is sold in more than 80 countries worldwide, but almost 90% of its total net sales come from its home market of the UK. And the key to geographic expansion might come from leaning further into its cross pollinated product innovation. At one point in the late 2010s, Grenade had been ramping up sales activity in the US market, but then seemed to almost disappear in the early 2020s. The Grenade Oreo protein bars would almost certainly do great in the US market, but my guesses are that the previous successful Mondelez licensing relationship with Ghost Lifestyle might be holding up that geographic expansion right now. While I'm not certain the licensing deal length Ghost Oreo Way launched just over 3 years ago, or if Ghost even has negotiated food rights with the Oreo brand team, any US market availability of the Grenade Oreo protein bar likely doubles the brand's total revenue in 12 to 18 months with a proper strategic go to market execution. Similarly, additional cross pollination licensing opportunities would greatly help Grenade protein bars, but also within protein powders, ready to drink protein beverages, and any other protein snacking formats like cookies. Something like Chips Ahoy globally, Nutter Butter within the US market, or Cadbury or Milka within the broader European market would all be extremely beneficial to Grenade. And then finally, Mondelez recently partnered with Lotus Bakeries, maker of Biscoff cookies, which could create future attractive global licensing opportunities for Grenade. But I just wanted to end with some quick final thoughts. Consumers can't seem to get enough of protein. And while the focus on high protein diets started in those shadowy niches of sports nutrition and weight management, there's now increasingly diverse consumer cohorts that possess a heightened awareness around the value of this essential nutrient. This demographic diversity, having interest in protein for different reasons, is making it a battleground category as it proliferates across the entire grocery store. It's pretty obvious that Mondelez International wants to own substantial market share within this well-being snacking space. So don't get caught letting short-term ROI financial metrics cloud your vision, because Grenade has a lot of explosive growth opportunities ahead. I hope you enjoyed this YouTube video. If you did, consider hitting that like button to support me. Also help me get to my new short-term goal of 4,000 subscribers by hitting that subscribe button. I'd love to see you join me on this journey, but we need to fix the fact that slightly more than 90% of you that are watching this YouTube video right now are not subscribed to my channel, and that makes me extremely sad. But I do want to thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one.